All right, we have with us on the phone line filmmaker Shyam Benegal. Sir, great loss to the world of music. Your first reaction to the sad news?
Well, you know, the greatest Indian classical musician of our age has gone, because he just was like a colossus, for the past maybe 75 years or so. There was nobody quite like him. He was such an extraordinary musician, composer. I mean, he'd done just about everything you could possibly think of in music. And of course, he was given the Bharat Ratna, as we all know, and which meant that obviously he was the most highly considered musician of our country. And his going away, one thing I must say, that he went at the age of 92. He had a very full and fulfilling life. I think we need to celebrate his life, because he had such a wonderful life, because I think he was performing almost to the very end of his life, which is something quite extraordinary. And this, I think, was the greatest thing about him, because he was, well, what can one say? He was the musician of a whole century, as far as our country was concerned.
Sir, you are absolutely right that he played right till the last minute of his life. In fact, Nirupma Rao, India's ambassador to the United States, says that she heard him just in November this year. But sir, his music evoked varied emotions in people. Take us through your personal experience, what you felt when you heard him play.
Well, I mean, like everybody else in our country, I think I was a fan, like everybody is an ardent fan of Ravi Shankar, so was I. And I think I've been listening to him ever since ever since I could make sense of music, I guess. And of course, I've followed his work all the way through till the time now, until almost very recently, because I hadn't heard him this year. But until last year, I heard him at concerts, because he's apart from everything else, he was such an incredible personality, He was, he strode like a colossus. That's all I can think of, because he was like a colossus, as far as music was concerned. There was nobody quite like Ravi Shankar.
Some musician apart, how was he as a person to interact with? What kind of rapport did he share with people?
I didn't know him too well. I did meet him a few times, but long time ago. And he was, of course, an extremely pleasant and wonderful company, because he was a person full of excellent humor and so on. I mean, he was extremely well informed. I mean, he was really an international being. He knew everything about everybody all over the world. He knew what was happening in the world of music, in the world of politics, everywhere. He was truly one of those, cosmopolitan beings. I mean, somebody you envy enormously, because that's what you want to be yourself.